But the whole point of it is I haven't had a whole hell of a lot of time to get down. I've been spending time going around looking at the $900 billion worth of damage done by hurricanes and floods and weather and traveling around the world. But I plan on, now my wife Jill has been down. She's been on both sides of the river. She's seen the circumstances there.
Joe doesn't have time, but I have an idea for him, Harris. He's going to Delaware at 8 p.m. this evening for a vacation, maybe divert Air Force One to the border.
You know, I thought last night was particularly sad. And you know, what Tyrus is talking about, it seemed like Anderson Cooper was put in, you know, a friendship role of trying to finish his sentences. At one point, you were talking about defund the police. The president couldn't even get out his own words about it. Anderson Cooper said, well, you've been saying you don't want to defund the police for quite some time. I mean, he actually had to throw him a talking points bone.
Yeah.
And it, you know, I guess you could call it a question. I didn't hear the inflection there. But I mean, what's particularly sad is that these issues are so tremendously important for all of us, including the people that he says he loves. You know, not everybody that Joe Biden knows lives in the White House.
Right.
Well, how do we know? Because he keeps going to Delaware. They don't live in the White House. So somebody he cares about lives outside the Beltway.
Yeah.
And they're no doubt at least having some of the ramifications of having a supply chain crisis. Right? So, and you know, I know that everybody thinks a treadmill and a Peloton and all of that. And by everybody, I mean the White House. You know, that's what we're all waiting for. Some people are waiting for feminine products and diapers and medicines and all sorts of things. But he does not live in the real world. But people that he knows and has access to actually do. So then the question becomes, is he listening? And can he apply what he's hearing and learning to real life? And we're not seeing that.
Yeah, well, he's not listening, Emily. One of my former aides texted me during this, oh, my goodness, the White House staff is fact-checking Joe Biden. His staff.
Literally in real time. Okay, so Chad Gilmartin, which was the principal assistant press secretary under President Trump, tweeted this: White House staff was busy during last night's town hall, fact-checking their boss Biden in real time. Staff issued clarifications on a range of Biden's remarks, including on the supply chain crisis, to raising taxes, and even Taiwan. My favorite part, you guys, was like the comedy of that, you know, earnest, hardworking reporters would tweet out something like you're seeing here, Yamiche Alcindor saying, you know, President Biden says he would absolutely consider deploying the National Guard to help with supply chain issues. And then cut to, okay, so a White House official emails me this, requesting the National Guard at the state level is under the purview of governors. We are not actively pursuing the use of the National Guard on a federal level. This happened like 60 times. It was hysterical, except it's not a laughing matter that our commander-in-chief and president of the United States is absolutely this derelict with everything he says, not almost like he doesn't realize that he's the president.
He doesn't understand.
So he has no impact. Morgan, let me get Morgan in here really quick. Morgan, you know, you run a press shop as well. I mean, were you having to clean up things that Mike Pompeo said? I'm sure not. He always said things pitch perfect. Yeah.
No, and in fact, someone tried to do that once when we were overseas, and it was one of the more tense conversations I ever had. Listen, I've been meaning to write an op-ed about this. I haven't gotten around to it, so I'm just going to say it here. This president and his entire administration, they lack empathy, right? They don't stand up for the men and women that protect this country, whether you're talking about first responders, cops, or even the border police with the fake whip crisis last month. There's a lack of empathy for anyone who disagrees with them. There's a derisive attitude towards anyone who disagrees with them. And that lack of empathy, in my opinion, permeates all the policy decisions, foreign and domestic.
No doubt about it. He's not an empathizer in chief.